All right, let's introduce our company, Ameri Metro Inc. Trades on the OTC under the symbol ARMT and is facing a $57 trillion infrastructure market, as identified in McKinsey's report. The need and demand for alternative transportation, such as high-speed rail, seaports, inland ports, and toll roads. Please welcome founder and CEO Shah Mathias and the CEO of CC Forum, Max Studenikoff. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Thank you.
Thank you
for
very
the
much.
introduction. We're good.
Great. The floor is yours. We're looking forward to hearing your presentation.
All right. Thank you. I'm Shah Mathias. I've been doing the same infrastructure projects. Today, with the modern terms, it's an infrastructure, but we call them roads and bridges and airports in the past. So the buzzword is infrastructure. I've been doing the same thing for 43 years. I'm originally from Pakistan. I came here in 1976 with $33 and 22 pounds of luggage. And I built myself to this point where financing and infrastructure. So we've been doing really well. Company grew so fast and so big, so fast, still took 1/3 of my life, basically. And we developed the system to how to finance, how to create equity for the state's projects. And we filed with the SEC a number of years ago, and we became effective, but we didn't take it to the market because share prices was too much. As a matter of fact, I called back the shares as a tender notice earlier this year, somewhere around $22 billion in shares buyback, in a sense, back to related entities. Ameri Metro has a total of about 44 other entities underneath it. And there's a part that's a nonprofit, which is a Global Infrastructure Finance and Development Authority. Its purpose is to finance projects, develop projects, and then turn them over to the states for no cost after the debt is paid. So we then, as we move forward, and I'm going through a little fast, we came across this current world of cryptocurrency. And we came up with the idea that we should have a legal tender, which no one has it. Everybody's fighting the SEC, regulators, and whatnot. We worked through the state of Wyoming system and a legislative process, and we were able to establish a number of different type of tokens. And as a result, they became not token, but blockchain legal tenders. So with that, we created a number of them for infrastructure, for the general purpose use, oil and gas. That is the future. Fiat currency is there, but this process that we invented, PPP was originally invented by our office, our attorneys, about 29 years ago. And today we introduce these very thrilling and exciting ways to do these projects throughout the globe. And now we have McKinsey report has been upgraded. And same with the Baines report and others. It's a $97 trillion market. There's no other company in the world that has a $97 trillion market facing them. We are the ones who will make next generation of future 500 companies. You do business with us, you're going to grow, because our diversification from housing to infrastructure to roads, bridges, schools, and most importantly, humanitarian. And that's where my friend Max joins in about green bond, green energy, conservative way of doing things in a sense that is more usable and more environmentally friendly. We just enjoy that partnership. We just signed a major agreement in London. Our guest list was, our audience was about, the room was $4 trillion room. Some had said more. But anyways, that's our footprint. Our goal in this meeting was to educate and let investors know where we're going with our so-called crypto, but it's a legal tender. And it is available for sale. It is available for people to see how the projects are financed in future, because it's difficult for one state to ask for $60 to $100 billion when the national budget was $1 trillion, 52 states will take that up easily. Max and I were talking about the global warming and these projects, green projects. Even the $500 billion doesn't even scratch the surface. So number seems big because we're not used to hearing them. However, the ability to have access to develop those or is in trillions. Every country, every state, everybody has some form of issues with environment, some issues to develop it more energy efficient, more environmental efficient, So we are in that space. And we are very pleased to be on this conference to allow people to be able to see what we're doing and how they can be part of this. Things that I'm talking about would be posted on our website starting on Wednesday. Investors can log on, people can log on, they can look at different scenarios. It is really a unique way of doing future development, future financing. For example, I call New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ and companies like that. They're great companies. They've done their duty over the years. I think time is coming to a change. There's more of diversification on how we finance things. For example, Ameri Metro just recently asked for State of Wyoming for issuing a Class E token. Now we have Class A, B, C, D shares. We introduced Class E token, which is a legal tender. In the future, we plan to share with our shareholders or whoever tokens as a dividend. And the beauty of part of this is if you have a token, you have a hot wallet and cold wallet. That means you can park it, bank it, cash it, and then you can use it. So you're not sitting with a stock and you're not subject to somebody shortchanging you, the market fluctuation, because we have projects after projects. It's a $97 trillion market. There's no industry that big as we are. And I think we are the only one that's right now involved in this space that we can take care of very efficiently. We have various scenarios where the safeguarding, the cryptos doesn't slip away into wrong hands, that people don't lose out on what they have earned. So our coins, which is legal tender, are now, we had purchased properties in the US, we have bought projects and oil, natural resources across the globe. We are at $350,000 a token, and there's no stoppage for people wanting to get their hands on to our program. It is not an investment. It is just like if you would buy US currency for Japanese yen, or you want to exchange for British sterlings and want to get US dollars. That's how our scenario is. We're not your crypto coin up and down and there's nothing underneath. We actually have contracts, natural resources underneath our scenario. Currently, we're looking at $2.5 trillion in projects just alone, and all these tokens are backed by that kind of asset base. So we are very unique, and we are very happy to be here. I think this coming Wednesday, our website would be live with all the information I'm briefly sharing now, and people will be able to see it, will be able to enjoy the read. And I think it's fascinating how we can help our communities, our countries, our states, and people's quality of life can change the way we have designed. And I let Max speak a little bit on that as well. Go on, Max, go ahead, and then I'll jump back in and we'll let Anna kind of drill us a little bit.
Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed, Shah, for this very detailed and very profound presentation, really. For those of you who are just listening to me for the first time, you will see in a moment why the strategic partnership that Shah and the CC Forum, that stands for Climate Change Investment Forum, have entered is a marriage made in heaven. Because our missions and our thinking, and one has to really think quick and big, these are the two overriding criteria. I would have thought I would single out. That's really just enabled us to develop this partnership and hopefully the synergies for the years to come. Let me tell you this. I'm being extremely selfish in a way, because what I'm trying to do with CC Forum, and of course it's a lot of teamwork, I'm not the only pebble on the beach here, is because I'm doing this for my kids, or rather I'm doing this for their kids and their kids' kids. Simply put, I just don't want them to fight for food and water in 20 or 30 or 50 years' time from now, okay? And because humanity, we're as species, we're in such a fine mess worldwide with the global warming, really just affecting each and every walk of life, wherever you go to, far and wide. Suffice to say, last summer we experienced worldwide some of the worst drought you can possibly imagine in recorded history. Okay, that's a bit of a eye opener to many. But what I've always believed in is the power of wealth, more than any of the sweeping statements by the likes of the ones who are now hitting the stage in Sharm el-Sheikh and the ones who were doing so in Glasgow last year. Because I wouldn't go as extreme as Greta Thunberg is in tarring them all with the same brush and saying it's all about greenwashing. But a lot of policymaking and politicking has to do with that, unfortunately. And I'm so gratified that over the recent years, what had not been possible has been made possible now. Investors and investors' communities, and I'm talking about institutional and private investors alike, are cottoning on more and more to the necessity of investing in clean technologies, in the sustainability, in the broader sense of the word. I'm not just talking about renewables, but about various other aspects, including waste management, government strategies, fintech, finance, healthcare, education, philanthropy and charity, and social inclusion. Because to me, these things are closely intertwined. 3 years ago, we were doing an event in London, which, by the way, received a royal blessing by the late Queen Elizabeth, that was totally dedicated to innovation and exploring the ways how emerging technologies like blockchain, like AI, and obviously crypto as part of blockchain, are capable of making the difference. And I absolutely concur with Shah in that I would have thought decentralization is clearly a predestined path for us to all tread. I would probably not be as optimistic in that because we're facing a huge fiat lobby here, but I'm absolutely convinced that the future of fintech and finance is decentralized. And that brings me to a very important point, because I would have thought it is through cross-governmental interaction, really. It's through decentralization, something well beyond governments which come and go, that projects of and problems of giant proportions like we're all facing today, with the center point of that being the climate change, can only be resolved through this. Okay, it's time to brush off the parochial approach and really unite all of our efforts and make sure we identify the technologies that are capable of bringing the difference. There is no shortage of capital, no matter if it's institutional or private, although it has been estimated that a whopping 67 trillion are needed to reach net zero. Well, I would probably put a greater number on it, and I would have thought at least 200 trillion are required. But the world has the funds. They are available. What is the shortage? Where is the shortage of? Is the groundbreaking, revolutionary projects. So I'm very pleased to say that we, as an investment platform, which is CC Forum Investment and Sustainable Development, are fortunate in being showered with proposals, with requests on almost a daily basis. And sometimes these are so groundbreaking ones that one must well marvel at how really far-reaching and how revolutionary those can be. I'll just give an example. Here in London 3 weeks ago, we highlighted a very unique project of turning an ordinary conventional combustion engine into a almost non-emitter by converting it to hydrogen. So that's in itself could be potentially bigger than Tesla, okay? Or 2 years ago in Monaco, we were showcasing a project that was converting food waste into an alternative to diesel fuel, okay? Or CarbFix, the technology freezing the carbon dioxide problem in the air and storing it like nuggets of black gold. That was, again, jumped from CC Forum's edition and Côte d'Azur. So these are just the tips of the iceberg. Some of these projects are so unique and so urgent that it's really down to us, to the investment platform that we've created, with the kindred spirits like Shah and his company and many other investors of smaller scale perhaps. But I would have thought it is through this unification of our efforts, urgently, quickly, and in a big way, that we can make the difference. That's the end of my short presentation. Sorry to have bored you.
For example, our company, we felt the housing is much needed across the globe. We just posted a $60 billion bond indenture. I've never heard about that in an industry, just from a private entity. It's on a Bloomberg exchange. Mesner and Reed, one of the largest law firms, is our bond counsel and book runner. We did one for technology, about $64 billion coming up. We have another one that's there's three for energy, $40 billion, because there's new ways of doing energy without harming the environment and whatnot. Same with the logistics, and our slogan in Ameri Metro is changing the way you move. And that could be looked in many different ways, that how people move, how you move goods, how you move product and productivity. We are so geared that the way we used to do and the way we need to do, the times is running faster than we are. So we have to bring our infrastructure to that point that it can accommodate, that you don't spend half your time during the day trying to go from one place to another. If we can create smart communities that localize a shopping work community within a distance that you don't need to go too far, I think we can help produce that very, very unique process. And as far as food, at these conferences, we met one company. They're graduated from Penn State here, plug in for Penn State University here. Those guys have designed this, how they can change the molecules in the water, and it's right now about 200 some farms being used at, that the production is up 61% without additional fertilizers and whatnot being put on there. So we, as a company, as an infrastructure development, medical is part of that, food and beverages, natural resource, that comes into play. And we are now talking to the farmers for how to produce that high quality food without injecting any kind of MOGOs or whatever they call, that thing is so silly. I don't want to even pronounce it. I just want to stay focused how we can have high quality of living, high quality food. Right now, everything is for a sick person in a grocery store. Everything is 2%. If you're going to drink 2% of milk, what are you, 2%? I think you should drink real milk, eat real food, not get sick, and watch yourself what you eat. So the nutrition value is going to, so it's very, very unique for me to introduce infrastructure, development knowledge, and so forth, and bring these various development companies that don't get a chance at that local level and consolidate them in a pool of funding. And that's how we want to do. That's where our goal is in a very future, that no one be left behind about because their social structure or their ability to have better education, because we need to have people educated. More people are educated, less environmental hazards. Okay,
Okay.
one quart of oil can disturb 8 acres of land. That's a substantial amount. Some of these diesel trucks have 46 gallons of diesel oil and engine oil. I'm not against the industry, not at all. What I'm saying is we must be aware of how to manage that, how we can reduce that. Everybody can pitch in without stepping on anybody's toes. So I'm very excited about this conference. I'm very excited about this call today. Hopefully, you can reach out to investors. We're going to have our pitch deck posted on our website probably by Wednesday. They can look into it. They can see if there's an opportunity for whatever they need to do is there. Yeah, obviously, we raise capital.
I just wanted to add to that it was at the 8th edition of CC Forum that just took place 3 weeks ago that quite a few of global announcements were made. We had minor ones. Well, by minor I mean, for example, MasterCard announced their first ever SDG merchant card in partnership with Healer World. But most importantly, the major highlight was that we have announced the creation of the world's largest green investment fund. We have a long way to go, but I was very fortunate in being supported by two of my colleagues and friends, the American Chinese impact billionaire Angel Wang, who committing to tautology 100 billion initial capital start for the forum. I know it's a drop in the bucket. It is really, but this could just lay down the foundation of a much larger project. And when Shah got to know the initiative, he jumped on the idea, and we're now at the point of strategizing and fine tuning the next steps. Because what his entity can bring to the table is second to none. And again, I'm saying the reason why we are so aligned is that we both share the same leaps and bounds approach, but positively for mankind and for the planet in many ways. I'm pleased to say that Shah has generously agreed to support our upcoming Beverly Hills or LA edition in the USA next March. The dates are the 7th and the 8th of March. That coincides with the International Women's Day. And we're very much looking forward to bringing the forum for the first time to the Western Hemisphere, where we'll be quite happy to launch it in company with the US impact investors and billionaires and Hollywood celebrities.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate that. Anna, you have any questions for us?
Great job. Wow, what an undertaking, gentlemen. This is exciting stuff. Okay, we have a little bit of time left for some questions. Let's start with, who is your competition and how do you stand out from them?
Question for me would be, the answer for that for me is, we don't look at a competition. It's a joint venture. Okay, we're not here to compete. We're here to say, we have same problem at our house as it is at your house. Whether you live in a hut or you live in a mansion, you need to have food supply, clean air. These are basic necessity that been deprived at all levels. So we are very much in saying, look, if you don't have it, we have it. We'll join forces. You'll benefit from it. Because if you see the disparity today, it is just, the gap is too big. It's not just environmental issues, it's the social structure as well. So we have to gap those things. And the education and the welfare of a child for the future is very important for our climate. More the educated they are, more they will see. And what it takes, money is everywhere. We need to funnel the direction. You running these shows, you do these webinars and whatnot. Company wants to raise money. We want to raise money for legacy and sustainability. Okay. And that's our goal. In that space, there's no competition. You see, we're not competing because you're from this side or that side. We're saying we have a common problem.
Exactly.
Infrastructure is a common problem. Go ahead, Max.
And I would absolutely concur with Shah on that one. If you ask me the same question, Anna, we don't have any competitors. All of our other events are colleagues. They are neighbors. They're next door neighbors, really, because our big house, the planet, is on fire, both figuratively and verbatim. And we need to make sure we just do everything that stands within our power, no matter if your house is big or small, to contribute to putting out. I take it very seriously.
Give you an example.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt there. Give you an example. We have one project that need 411 million metric ton of cement. There's no one spot you can get that. So the competition is not a competition. Competition is we will help you grow because of our intake. Nigeria needs 17 million homes. You know, this is how I look at it. 17 million homes in Nigeria alone is 17 million washing machines, 17 million televisions, 17 million toiletries, 17 million of this. You see, the scale is so huge. So the competition actually becomes thriving with us because we collectively say it's a $97 trillion market. If you join us, whether you're a vendor, supplier, whatnot, for example, the heavy equipment people, you know, I don't want to name so somebody doesn't get some idea to run up, get their shares or whatnot. But we will place orders in such a magnitude for that because we are a global presence that will have that industry thrive. You know, we cannot dig ditches with hands, okay? So whether you're selling shovels, we'll buy so many shovels, it will thrive you. If you're selling heavy equipment, you'll do that. And some of this production is 2-3 years out. So that means you could actually benefit from our plant today before we even break a ground somewhere, okay? The huge order for equipment, whether it's airline or industry, whether it's shovels, whether it's somebody just made little screws, somebody made uniforms, that's the point. This is not a space of competition. This is space of, it is already there. Somebody has to consolidate into a funnel so the investors can say, look, I can go there, I can invest in energy side, I can invest in transportation, I can invest in so-called digital asset, decentralized. We have the whole thing right in palm of your hands that you can benefit. There's no competition. Somebody wants to create a competition, I'm all for it. Challenge has been my life, okay? Challenge has been my life. So if one guy stand up, I say, come on, the hat has dropped, you know? So I say that in a nicer way. Somebody asked me this question in Nigeria, are you afraid of Chinese? Are you going to boot them out? I said, no, that's not the point. We have our strength and they have theirs. And where we are weak, they can pick up. And where they're weak, we can pick up and we can do that. There's no such thing as competition here. Okay. This is not, I'm not at a football game. I'm at a real life situation. Okay.
Shah, let's talk a little bit about how you're incorporating your blockchain technology into this. So talk a little bit about your token. What's the price? What sets your token apart from others? And how does one go about buying tokens? Is it an investment? Is it on an exchange?
We have our own exchange under the Wyoming law. We have, and it's not an investment. We do not sell it as an investor. Hey, I have seen worse and heard worse. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we have we don't call it investment because it's not. We are under Wyoming law considered legal tender. Okay, so tender is not an investment. It's like if you have a British sterling, you want to acquire US dollars, you just do a barter. You pay one for the other and you agree to. So we call ourselves, you know, how many goats for how many camels? You know, it's that system. So we pay for goods and services, consumptive use token, and it's not, there's actual projects underneath it. If I bought oil wells, like I have control over 70 million barrels of oil in ground, we did a stock, some cash, and some coin combination. Now that coin inwardly has an asset base. We did not go raise money to say, give us the money for the coins. We didn't create an instrument in an investment. We are using that as a currency. And that's how we are different than other blockchains. We are not, also, it's very environmental friendly because we don't have mining portion of it. Ours is you purchase something directly and it's yours. We create a wallet, it's in there, it's a blockchain. And also we meet all federal requirements for reporting. Okay, some of the government has issue, where's this money going here and there? We report because under Biden administration, last bill they were passed, there's a requirement that you report. So we are in compliance there. We're in compliance with the Wyoming law. We're compliance with the SEC because we are not so-called investment instrument. We are actual tender. It's a legal tender. That's what sets us apart. Yet, it is what? It's blockchain. Yet, it is decentralized. Yet, it's autonomous. Okay, we have all that structure. And I sent a deck to you earlier today. Hopefully, when we post it on our website, people will be able to see the steps. And then we created a token for European Union. We created for Middle East. We created for Pacific Rim. We created one for the Southeast Asia because we're going to do the projects in those countries. We're going to pay people with us, those tokens. But there's actually money we raise a traditional way, which is bonds and so forth. We raise that fund, and that's in there. So there's something behind our token versus any other token. That's the main thing, which is very, very important. Okay.
Well, we have about 2 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we can close with a call to action to understand, because I hope you will be back again and to go through your pitch deck and we can understand even more. This is really fascinating stuff. So what are your closing final thoughts for your presentation today, gentlemen? Whoever wants to take the floor.
I'll go first because the reason is it's finance, okay? You want to be part of this great entity, that enterprise that is modern in the way we're doing things, and you want to help environment and you want to do the infrastructure, you're investing money somewhere else, buying this and that, you can look into our website coming Wednesday. You'll be able to see all of that there that we're talking about. You can prescribe, open an account, you can have a blockchain token to you, just like the law says. There's nothing fishy, nothing. We'll do the typical, know your client business. So it's a transparency is also involved, yet the security is there. And it's a great way to do. And also what Max is doing, it supports for generations. Max, if you want to take next 30 seconds or so.
I'll probably take the last 30 seconds. Well, for those of you who would really want to be part of the bigger picture, they're most welcome to attend the upcoming 9th edition of CT Forum LA, and all you have to do is just go to on the internet and just Google us, CC, that stands for Climate Change Forum, and our website will pop up immediately. We're doing reasonably well one thing. We are connecting the savviest of the investors of tomorrow with the groundbreaking and revolutionary startups of today.
Fantastic. That's a great way to close, Max and Shah. Thank you guys so much. Please come back in the future. We want to hear more about this exciting endeavor. You guys
sign me up for January.
Okay. We'll see you in January. I'm sure lots will change.
Thanks
for having
me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back.